I interviewed Minecraft's best speedrunner. Okay, best is kind of arguable, but Minecraft's kind of best speedrunner for a video on my main channel. This is that full video, uncut, with subtitles. That's so cool. Okay, enjoy. Just to get into this, could you tell me a little bit about your history as a speedrunner?
Yeah, I mean, I started speedrunning about 5 years ago around this time. I started speedrunning in like December 2020. I think I started with like a couple 116 runs. Just like, I didn't really know what I was doing. I did like villager trading in 116, which is just like very, very stupid. And then I went to 1.7 or 1.7. It's like, and I played that for about 8 months or so. I got the world record in that, and then I just started bouncing around categories. Just like, I played 115, I did a little bit of 116, now I went back to 1.7, like or pre 1.9, 1.8, whatever. And then I just kind of bounced around. I did some AA. There's a time where I grinded some hoplite. I mean, I don't know, I never really cared too much about categories. I just kind of played for whatever I enjoy the most. And then about a little over a year ago, I was watching a ranked stream, and I was like, oh, this looks fun. And then I started playing ranked.
So,
And that's what it's been for the past year or so.
yeah, so you said 5 years ago you got into like the actual speedrunning scene. Like what would you say is what got you into speedrunning in general?
Honestly, I really can't say. I know people ask this, and like other people have better answers. I really don't know what started me actually speedrunning. I don't know specifically. My earliest memory of like when I actually started speedrunning with like watching some sort of speedrunning is like I just have like the earliest thing I can think of is like a um it was December 2020. I was on winter break in high school, and I just remember being in my bed at like 3 a.m. watching a nerdy stream, just like doing old 116 speedruns. Like that's like the earliest memory I can think of. I don't feel like that's what got me into speedrunning, but like that's the earliest memory that I have with speedrunning. That's like not a Thunderful run. Like 'cause I've watched I remember watching a couple Thunderful runs in like 2018, but yeah, I never got into it then.
Got it. So my first question that's like uh I wanted to ask the opinion of a speedrunner for this because obviously you guys would know it better, but like in other esports or in other I guess scenes, you see like the developers of the game supporting like speedrunners a lot. Like if you talk about like Celeste or something, it's like there's a ton of support from the people who make the game to speedrunners. Do you think Mojang supports speedrunners enough and like what could they do better?
Um, I think. I think Mojang has tried to recently show support with speedrunning. I know there's been some stuff they've done to try and help influence people to play the newer versions of speedrunning. I think it is just speedrunning is just not the one of like the intended, I think, purpose or like intended focus of Minecraft. So it's just hard for maybe not hard, but I think it's weirder for Mojang to support that because Minecraft at its core is a like sandbox game. It encourages people to do whatever they want, however they want. So the speedrunning competitive focus isn't like maybe it's not really the main focus of Mojang. So they're not like the biggest for supporting it. While like most of the games, like that competitive aspect is like the whole point of the game. But Mojang, I know they have tried to, or they are trying to influence speedrunners to play the more recent versions, but I think there's a bit of a frustration, maybe like a disconnect or something with just the recent versions are way harder, or not way harder, but they're way worse to speedrun, and it's just they're really I don't think there's very little they can do to try and make people switch off of 116. So it creates a hard thing because Mojang wants the more recent versions to be speedrun, but nobody wants to do that.
Yeah. So speaking about like versions and stuff, you held the 1.8 world record for like ages, right? Tell me about like
Yeah.
you said you bounced around between categories. Why and how different was it switching from like 1.8 to 116?
Yeah, I mean, so I'll just like clear up the
Mhm.
little world record history a little bit. I got the first ever sub 20 in pre 1.9, and it was July 2021. That's I think forever gonna to me getting the thing I'm most proud of in speedrunning because I put so much time into that. And then I got the 1.7 like then I got the world record in 1.7 like I think a year or so later, maybe less than a year later, and then I got a 1609 and 1.7 about 2 years ago in August 2023, and I still have that is still the world record for 1.7. So I've held that for over 2 years now. But it was definitely weird. Not like weird, but it's going between 1.7 and 3.9 to like a 1.15 and 1.16 is, I mean, obviously you play the game entirely differently at its core. Like the how you do the runs is very
Yeah.
different. But it wasn't. I never thought it was like that weird switching between them because like I know what to do. Like I know how to play the versions. I know what I'm supposed to be doing in every category. So it's like it's not that weird to me. The only thing that made it weird for me was just like it was the mouse. It was just the mouse stuff because 1.7 and 3.9 is like it has like some weird mouse acceleration or it's like and you have to like change up and it's just like your sensitivity you have to have like different sensitivity settings in like 1.7 and 1.8 and like 115 and 116. So it's just like that was always the weird part and like the really annoying part about it. But as with the actual gameplay, I was never too concerned about it. If I wanted to be playing at the level where I thought I should be playing, I felt like I need to be playing it for like a week or longer just to make sure I'm comfortable with like just like get a better feel for it because like I mean I could go in I got like I could play 115 run, maybe get like a sub 15 or something or not sub 15, sorry. But like a sub 17 or maybe or something just like
Yeah.
if I get a lucky run, but like if I play for a week, then I maybe get more better to that level of like, maybe I get a sub 15 because like actually I get a better feel for like all like that little micro movements and like stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I never really worried too much about like the differences between them
Yeah.
after I already learned the categories.
So you said before about how like you were watching a ranked stream and that's what made you start like playing ranked. How much of an impact do you think ranked like MCSR ranked had on like speedrunning Minecraft as a whole?
I mean, I think it's having a really, really big impact because I think it's having a bigger, I mean, not bigger boom, but like this is. Yeah, this is either hitting or surpassing like early or like late 2020 levels of when speedrunning was like really big with RSG. I mean, ranked is having such a big influence because it's just the whole problem with speedrunning in the first place with Minecraft is just not all seeds are good, so you just have to like it's just it's just awful to reset. It's just like a painful thing and when it's like a bigger streamer, you don't want to have that like downtime where you're just doing nothing of just like resetting because resetting is just boring.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. So I think ranked has just done a really nice job of being able to focus on the parts that are the most fun, the parts that are the most entertaining, and always having that as the main focus. Adding that with the competitive duel aspect, which is always going to be interesting for a competitive aspect. So that just being able to do that for Minecraft is just it's been huge. It's been huge, man.
Yeah. So, talking about kind of like RNG and stuff, one of the biggest debates that's happened in the past however long with at least 1.16 has been the whole calc versus no calc debate back in 2021. What's your take on that whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a similar take to I think Feinberg has a similar take. I think maybe Curry as well. I don't remember. But I think because when I think of playing the game, I try to prayer I think like, you keep it as vanilla as possible. You try to like keep it as just Minecraft as best you can. So it's like I don't agree maybe with like allowing calculators because like it takes away from that vanilla aspect, but like it was so necessary, man. It was so necessary. We would not be here like none of us would be here right now without calculators because RSG just would have died. People would just would have lost care for Minecraft. I mean, maybe still ranked would have happened, but like it would still be such a frustrating thing of just doing it. Like it'd just be so bad, man. Like it's just so necessary for the longevity of the game because it allows for not it doesn't it stops having 90% of runs die to something you just can't control when you're like 70% through the run. Like it's just absolutely necessary and it was the best choice for the community. It's like we wouldn't be here today. Like it's just
Yeah.
that's what I always try to say. It's like we would not be here today without calculators. So it was an absolutely necessary change for the community.
Okay. So about kind of like new tech and stuff, because I know, like, for example, like Fine has like an alt where he does no F3 runs because people are like, oh, F3 is also like on Minecrafty or whatever. So like when you talk about like strats like wall, like the wall for resetting, or like E-ray, Pi-ray, that kind of stuff, could you tell me a little bit about how those maybe kind of work and how they change the run? Just like for like a
Um,
layman like coming in not knowing anything about speedrunning.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really call the wall like tech or something. I mean, the wall, I mean, how it is now is like a lot newer, but the wall for like a couple years used to be like you would open, you would literally you go on like multi-MC, one of like the launchers that like has mic or like one of the Minecraft launchers or whatever, and you would just open however many instances you could. Like I think I used to do between 6 and 9 instances. I would load up between 6 or 9 separate 1.7, 1.15, 1.16 instances. So it's like what you see people do is like like Ludwig, like he or other people that just do like maybe he's like solo runs or like whatever. Like they just like reset. They have one instance open, they reset one world. So it's like one world is being reset at a time. And then when you just had 6 more instances or whatever, you do that six you just do 6 at a time. And then there was like scripts that would change your screen layout so that it would perfectly fit all of the instances into like every little box. So it would be like a nice 2x2, 2x3, 3x3 or whatever. And then there would be like other hotkeys or like AHK scripts that would allow you to like hit T to like reset all, E to reset the seed your mouse is hovering, like R to lock the seed, so stuff like that. And as well, it's like funny if you play like with seed queue. I'll talk in a sec. There used to be there might still be sounds because the reason there's sounds when you reset is there used to be with like the old scripts instead of it just being like T it like automatically resets the world. It would the game would like the script would tab through every little thing, so it would hit tab enter for a single player and then it'd go like tab create new world
Mhm.
tab to like other stuff like that. So you'd hear like 6 clicks in one instance, like all at once, and then you do that 6 times 9 more instances. It just sounds like a really satisfying like click. So
Yeah.
that's like the reasons people have that as well. And then so that was like the old wall, and then CQ is just it was just an updated version of that by Conteria to have just like that one instance just like split up into like 9 or so different ways. So
Right.
it's just that's kind of what the wall is at its core, and then E-Ray, I mean, E-Ray is just like it's just some of the stuff with F3. Like if you do watch like a local tortilla
Yeah.
run, like it is
Hmm.
just F3 is just so necessary for so many things because finding the bastion for Feinberg is sometimes just like a 50-50 because if it's not right in front of him in the open, he just can't
Yeah.
find it. He has to do some other stuff which is like weird. So it's I mean being able to F3 and look at the enemies in your actual view. That's why you go to 30 FOV because it makes what you're seeing a lot smaller. So it narrows the view. It's like a I don't know. I think of it like binoculars kind of. It's just like sure when you don't have binoculars you can see everything, but like when it's further away it's like harder to see. So you just zoom in and like you see less around you, but you see what's in front of you a lot better. So it's
Yeah.
just I mean it's kind of just I mean yeah that's what it is. Sorry, and then
And it was just
what was the
Pyre,
other
the
thing
last
you
one,
asked? Fire?
like
Yeah,
Fortress.
and pyring as well is just like so necessary because it's like same thing with trying to E-Ray for bastions. Like if you can't see the bastion in the open, like if like Feinberg on a local tortilla run can't see
Mhm.
the bastion in the open, it's just cooked. I mean, being like it's just being able to get knowledge of the seed to be able to play out more runs than you can because I think like F3 and a calculator to me and they're like so different, but I guess they kind of serve similar purposes because being able to have F3 increases longevity or like the amount of runs you can play because it allows you to find more bastions, allows you to find more fortresses with pyring for the fortresses. I'm obviously it's not going to be 100% because sometimes it's treasure and sometimes the directions are really
Yeah.
awkward. Sometimes like it's just really weird like that. But I think it's just I mean I would say it helps with the longevity of the game, but like in my mind, banning F3 is so stupid because it is literally a key bound in the middle of the game that you can do. You can choose like, I mean there is a category for it for not using F3. Um, I think it's like a legacy or I think it's like no legacy. The legacy is a more different thing. but like there are people that like do prefer like like a purist run. That's more what it's called, like a purist run, like no F3, all that stuff. But it's banning not having F3 is very weird to me because it's
Yeah.
just it's in game. It's a key bound in game that's by default. So it's weird to me. But I mean, yeah, if you think about it, yeah, it's like if calculators help that like 90% of runs that would have otherwise ended, maybe this is like F3 helps maybe like 50, 60%. Or
Yeah.
maybe not that much, but it helps with like finding more bastions, finding more fortresses, stuff like that.
Makes sense. Okay, this is kind of a different topic, but you like, for example, you played in Block Wars Chaos and whatnot. Which would you say is a better measure of skill? Is it events or speedrunning?
I mean, I think it's interesting because I think it depends. I don't even think I think both are good determinations of skill, but I think it just depends what you classify as skill because Minecraft is so interesting because like I talked about earlier, it's like it's a sandbox game. So there are so many different skills in the game. So it's I think it's really weird what you define as skill. I mean, because they both speedrunning and events both demonstrate different types of skill. And I think I would lean maybe speedrunning because I feel like more often you'll see speedrunners do well in events rather than you will see event players do well in speedrunning.
Hmm.
Like I think it takes more time for event players to do well in speedrunning and other stuff like that. But I mean they both it's hard. I think it all just matters about what you define as skill because I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to like reconcile with or just like try to like think of is like PvP is such an integral part of I think of Minecraft. Like it's like everybody
Yeah.
knows PvP and there is absolutely no PvP in
Yeah.
speedrunning. So it's like that's just such a big skill you're taking out of. But then again, like being able to speedrun and like just like getting the movement for the game and just like having like good movement, good feel for the game, good knowledge of the game is like really important. Being able to get that down really well, I think is really good. So it's weird. I mean, like, I want to lean events, but like I said, I think you'll more often see speedrunners doing well in events rather than you see event players do really well in speedrunning. So it's hard. I don't want to say either is better.
Gotcha. And the last question, I think. I like you said, you think speedrunning hasn't been this big since like pandemic 2020, like December.
I
Um,
think so.
A, what would you say made it so big in the pandemic? And B, do you think it's like got to that level now and it's like plateaued, or do you think it's still going places?
Yeah, I mean, I just think. Wait, sorry, what was the first part of
The
the
first
question?
part is like, why was it so big in December 2020? Like, was it stream or like was there
Oh.
other stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, because as well with like Pandemic 2020, that was still a little before I got into speedrunning because I got into like December 2020, but I didn't really
Yeah.
get into the community until February 2021. And even when I got into the community, I wasn't playing 116. I wasn't doing what everybody else was doing. So I think my perspective of how big it was is a little is it's not as clear. So whenever I say it, I typically just go based on what other people say and like that talked about that were in like the middle of all that. But I think with the pandemic 2020, I mean, it's just like, I mean, it's the pandemic, so like obviously everybody's inside, everybody's just playing games or whatnot,
Yeah.
and then Minecraft comes out with 116 in the summer of 2020, like around July-ish, with a new Nether update, which is such a massive update. So like that's already gonna be like a really big thing, and then you just couple that with Dream doing his man on speedruns and just like being able to like play Bastions. I feel like it's just such a big change. I think I think that was just such a perfect time of putting together the pandemic. So you're forcing everybody inside. You have a new Minecraft update, which is just the best update for speedrunning ever with Bastions and just the whole Nether update. And then you have Dream and all that stuff coming at its like peak and everything. I think when you just put that all together, it brings so many eyes to speedrunning because it just brings so many eyes to speedrunning with Dream and then people like watching they're like getting into 116 like oh maybe trying to like learn how bastions work and then you see speedrunners like optimizing bastion stuff.
Yeah.
Actually that well to be fair though, optimizing bastions people didn't play bastions until like December
Yeah, that's
2020,
true.
so
Yeah.
it's a little weird, but I think that played a big part of it because like not even bastions, it was the piglin trading for pearls. Like that was like the big thing, and because you also had people like Dowski, you had people like Simply doing a lot of
Yeah.
runs early on. I mean, Simply hosted his Nether regionals. I forget when. It was I know it was late 2020, but like I mean, Simply hosting a tournament like that is just always going to be as well to really be big to bring a lot of eyes to the scene. And with with it maybe plateauing now, I don't really know. It's hard to see the trajectory of things.
Yeah.
I think it does seem like it's very much on a upward slope. So it's hard for me to say it's plateauing, but like I wouldn't be against saying it's plateauing because I feel like it's reaching so many people and so many creators that I would not have thought it would reach and like people that would be interested in playing.
Yeah.
So it's like so in my mind it's like maybe if you're hitting that peak, that's like the peak. You like
Yeah.
you can't get higher than that. But it is weird because it could just be like it hits those people and they keep playing and as they keep playing more and more other people will keep playing.
Yeah.
And I mean ranked is consistently, and I mean not consistently, but it's been several times it's been hitting the player peaks. They've been having to expand the servers because people are complaining about there's not enough space to play because they're just like they weren't anticipating so many people to play ranked. So I don't know if it's plateauing, but it's definitely higher. It's definitely very high, and it's really cool to see how it all is. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how potentially how much higher it can be pushed.
Okay. And my last thing, as the ranked world record holder, this is kind of like, yeah, this is kind of clip farming, but like, I'm gonna like glaze ranked throughout the video, and like, do you have anything you would want to say to like, I don't know, glaze ranked in that kind of way?
I mean, I love red lime. I don't know. I don't know if there's any way to like. I don't know if I think anything to glaze ranked, but I mean, it's just I'm just grateful for Red Lime and Oliver for like I mean Red Lime is like pretty much the only developer for the
Yeah.
ranked mod. Like he pretty much does all the updates, all does everything. And he's on like I think military service right now. So he doesn't even have as much time to do all these updates.
Yeah.
And he's just like a big update with ranked with like all these animations and potentially at least in private rooms right now, you can see the seed types before you play the seeds, which I think is a really big change.
Mm.
So it's just like and it's well just like I mean he made this. I mean he coded everything. So it's like so it's very grateful for him for all the work he put in and as well as Oliver trying like helping organize just like everything, organizing playoffs, organizing literally and like managing everything. And like I think and just and I guess the rank team as well. But I think Oliver and Red Lamb are two of the more forefront people with everything. But I mean I'm just very grateful for them and like a Red Lime Oliver and the whole ranked team to try and continuously push ranked to higher and higher limits, and it's been very successful. So I'm just very grateful to be a part of that and be able to kind of almost be brought up with them as they continue to push like the brand more and more.
Hell yeah. I mean, yeah, that's all the questions I have. You did really well. I think it's because I'm not a woman.
Thank you.
No. But yeah. Uh,
Okay.
uh, yeah. But yeah. I mean, look out for the video. I'm hoping to release it before Christmas, but I will link. I assume your Twitch in description. I don't know if you want your Twitch,
Yeah,
but
Twitch, YouTube,
cool.
or I don't know, just YouTube fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Of course.
Talk to you later. Bye bye.